Patty here today with another ZabE Rocks. Today we're doing a review of the Rock the Bike activity. It's a great thing. It's a bike. It has the one wheel in front which connects to a shaft which then will spin your unit up here, which is for the blender. And then the spin art kit is also in there, which is a little more involved to hook up. But the blender is super easy because this is what already comes on your bike. We made some great smoothies. It was really fun. The kids enjoyed it. You know, drinking a nice smoothie on a hot day is always good. So the bike comes like this. I am going to show you how to move it. I'm going to show you how to store it. And to use, you're just going to put your blender on there. Lock it down, and you have one child hold it, or 3 children hold it, however many would want to stand there and do that. There's always quite a few. And then someone's gonna pedal, right? And so you just start pedaling. It's a little bit noisy, so we were fortunate to have an outdoor space this time. So there's its noisy level, but it really spins that blender around good. For our concoction, we used a 1/3 of a can of 2 different frozen juices, concentrates, a couple cups of sliced frozen peaches, and 2 frozen Go-Gurts, and some water. And that made a full pitcher, and it was very tasty. So I recommend if you're gonna do this for the first time to start with the blender activity, because you have such success and it was so easy to do. And then with the spin art, you know, you have to put it together, and it's not as easy. It's better for a 2-person job. Like I said, this is my 3rd time doing it, so I had a pretty good working knowledge of how to put it together, but it was still difficult. So have another person help you. Then the drawing of the artwork seems to be the hardest part. You know, where are you going to put all these nice wet pieces of paper? They send the clothesline and clothespins, which we did put up and use. But then it was a little breezy out, so everything was blowing and sticking together. So maybe use a heavier paper so you don't get so much blow around. That was my advice after doing it this time. Or have a nice area to lay them out on to dry. But with the wind, it made it a little difficult. But the kids were all still very happy and all loved their pictures. It's a pretty easy cleanup. I suggest for cleanup you take a hose to the drum outside, because there's going to be so much paint in there. It would take a long time at the sink. And since I don't have any running water inside my room, the hose was my best bet. And that worked pretty well for cleanup. And this is the case that holds the important pieces, such as the blender and the legs to the spin art machine and the spin art machine. Now, the spin art machine is a lot of fun. But if you're by yourself, it's still a lot of work to get that together. So I would recommend a partner for that. The blender is super easy, right? Here's your blender, and it just sits right on. It's great. Now, the spin art part, though, has a drum, and it has 2 legs that you're going to have to attach to the drum, and then the drum's going to attach to a plate on the bike, which is, it's difficult because you have to get the legs even while you're trying to hold it up and with the plate on there. And it's all very heavy. I mean, it's a nice solid piece. And these come apart, and then you screw them together, then they screw into here, and then you got to get them level on the ground. And doing that by yourself, a little bit tricky. I was able to do it this time, but this is my 3rd time putting this together, so I had a little more knowledge. But if you come upon it the first time, I would recommend help. And then you have to put the band on so you can get your power to drive to the spin box from the pedal. And that's another step, and there's some hooks to hook it on. So it's just a little more tricky. But if you're just going to use it for the blender for your first time out, then it's a snap. And this is the best way I've found to move the bike, is just to tilt it up on its wheel and push, just like you would your bike. It makes it so much easier than trying to lift it, because that is a real challenge, because it's pretty darn heavy. So just up on that front wheel and push. And to store, and if you just tilt it forward, well, that's not true. If you just tilt it backwards, so it rests on its back two legs, then the kids aren't so likely to go and play on it. So it's a great, great activity if you can get your hands on one of these. So I say yay to Rock the Bike. I hope that showing you how to move it and how to store it is helpful. And if you use the blender first, you'll be really happy. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you like this review. Please give me a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.